Hello YouTube, and a very special hello to all my subscribers. My name's Phil, and today we're going to be talking about blogging and whether or not this is actually a viable route to go down in 2020, so don't go anywhere. If you're watching this channel for the first time, it's all about my journey as a Project 24 member. So that is the course that was set up by Income School, so that's Jim Harmer and Ricky Kessler, and it basically teaches you how to set up a website, a YouTube channel, and to generate a passive income online. So if that's something that you're interested in, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and also give me a like if you think I've earned it from you. So the question we're talking about today is whether or not in 2020 blogging is still a viable route to go down to build a business online. And the reason I'm talking about this is because Income School are actually selling their 6 niche websites right now. So they set up at the page, which is at incomeschool.com/garage sale, and they've put up all of their sites there for sale. And as soon as you see that, you kind of, the alarm bells go off. Why exactly are they selling their sites? Does that mean that they know something that we don't? Should we be a little bit worried with the fact that they're selling all their sites? What's happening? Well, let's talk about that. So first of all, let's just talk about the sites that they're selling. So they are selling camperreport.com, they are selling outdoortroop.com, they are selling dirtbikeplanet.com, they are selling emborapets.com, and they are selling 7yearolds.com and drillwarrior.com. So these are all the niche sites that they've been working on. Now, if you're not in Project 24 and you just watch the Income School channel, some of these names might kind of be new to you. You haven't heard about them before because they've been keeping at least 2 or 3 of these secret. They've only shared them with Project 24 members. So you're only just finding out about the websites and they're being sold, which is great if you've got money to buy them, but most of us don't have that money sitting around. So if we look at all of the sites, they are generating around 353,000 page views altogether, and that's bringing in Jim and Ricky around $13,000 per month. Now just remember that 2 of those sites, so drillwarrior.com and 7yearolds.com, they're not even monetized. So this is on the other 4 sites, bringing in around $13,000 a month, which is not too bad. So why exactly are they selling them? Well, even in Project 24, people, they were saying the sky's falling, we need to pay attention because obviously this means blogging is dead, it's done. But I don't think so. I don't think they're doing this. First of all, selling the sites, this is a great PR stunt. I think it's certainly going to bring attention. The main reason that they're actually selling the sites is so they can focus. If you've been following Jim and Ricky for a while, you know that they want to keep their finger on the pulse. They don't want to ever be giving advice that they're not following themselves. And this is at the heart of selling these sites. So these are the main reasons why I think Jim and Ricky are selling their sites. First of all, they like to test new theories and to test what's working and what's not working right now. So one of the theories they were kind of working through was if you produced a lot of content in a short amount of time, what would that do for your rankings? This is what they did with Project Rexburg, which was basically a writing content mill that they created themselves over in Rexburg, Idaho. And they were basically pumping out a lot of content. And they actually found this is not the best way to do it. So they closed down that, although they did build up sites like Emborapets like that, and to a certain extent Outdoor Troop also was built up through this. To be honest, I think it was most of the other websites apart from Drill Warrior, which I think they outsourced completely to an external content mill. The other reason I think they're selling all their sites is because they have so many websites to deal with. They've got at least 6 niche sites that we know of in Project 24. They've also got Income School, which takes a lot of their time, and they're trying to test other things as well as YouTube channels as well. So they've just got so much happening, and I can really relate to that because personally I've got 3 Project 24 style websites that I'm trying to work on at the moment. YouTube channels, this YouTube channel, and I have another YouTube channel which I'm launching with a colleague, which is going down more of sort of the professional path that I'm following as a teacher. So I can really understand having so many of these projects and things sort of diverting your attention, and you're splitting it between more than one task. Yeah, it's not really the best way to go forward. So I could understand how they want to sell off the success stories and start back down in the trenches to really test what's happening. I think another reason is they just want to keep things fresh. Jim mentioned in one of the podcasts in Project 24 that they did an interview with an internet marketer who was talking about how they do things, their success, and they were referring to a website that they built 5 years ago. And Jim asked him basically, what are you doing right now? Have you built a new website recently? He went, oh no, I haven't done anything in the last 5 years apart from that site. And you don't really want to listen to people like that. A lot of the gurus now, they're talking about things that were happening 10 years ago. And it's very different when you've got a lot of success and people know who you are. It's very easy to build up a new website compared to someone like me. Nobody knows me, and it's a bit of a struggle when you first start. So if as a teacher, as a guru, if you don't appreciate that, if you're not doing it again and again in the same shoes as the people you're trying to help, yeah, I just don't think that's very genuine. So my predictions for what Jim and Ricky are going to do, I do believe that they're going to carry on creating blogs, but I think they're going to focus on this sort of difference between YMYL, with and without EAT. So I think they're probably going to go back and do something very similar to 7yearolds.com, where they had a lot of medical kind of topics with YMYL. So I really think they're going to go back to that and test it again, because they had an issue which was it was taking so long for them to rank. Then they finally released the name of the domain to their YouTube channel, and Jim said after that it took off. So they're kind of wondering, was that a natural thing with the Google algorithm? Did it just take a little bit longer because of the niche they were writing in? Or was it because they had a lot of people suddenly going to those pages and Google said, hey, okay, something's happening here, we should start ranking them. So I think they're going to go back and do another YMYL and really play around with the EAT, trying to establish that they are experts, they have authority, and they have trustworthiness in that. But I also think they're going to test the other way, doing a YMYL without establishing EAT. And it wouldn't surprise me if they went down the route of finance, because they've never done anything like that, to my knowledge. They've always stayed in the hobby niche, kind of those directions. So I think that's what they're going to be testing for Project 24 members, to see what can be done. So I just want to turn now to talk about the biggest challenges that we all face in blogging in 2020. So the first one is to do with your money, your life. So these kind of YMYL niches are things, anything connected to sort of medical health, those critical questions that you're Googling, like, am I having a heart attack? And anything to do with finance, so large investments, the kind of queries where you might actually lose a lot of money if you get the wrong information. So the issue here is that these are very popular niches, especially when it comes to paid advertising. So things like diets and making money online and investing in the stock market, these were big money sources, income sources for a lot of people for affiliate marketing. So I think this is something that's really going to affect the blogging community, because a lot of people have put a lot of time and effort into that, and suddenly they're going to see their organic Google traffic just dropping off the face of a cliff. So I think that's going to be something really important to consider when you're choosing your niche. But that goes hand in hand with the next thing, which is EAT or EAT. So this is establishing with Google that you are an expert in your field to some extent. This doesn't mean you have to have a degree or anything. It just means that you do what you're writing about and you actually kind of know what you're talking about. It's not someone who has never sailed a boat and is telling you exactly how to do it from, basically scraping that information from the web. The other thing is that it's kind of hand in hand with being an expert is you're an authority on that. And then you're trustworthy, as in you're not going to scam people, you're not going to be giving false information. This is a real issue for people, a bit like me, establishing EAT, because it's kind of hard when you start writing about a niche. And with my main Project 24 niche, I am actually doing the activity that I'm writing about. I'm learning as I go, but it's kind of hard when you're at that stage. How do you establish that you're an expert in it when you don't feel like an expert, when you have this imposter syndrome, basically? Well, if you're a member of Project 24, that's absolutely fine, because you've got an entire course on how to do that. But it still takes a bit of work, and you still need to think about making contact within your industry and sort of just putting your name out there. And of course, there are some really easy ways to do that, and building things like a YouTube channel, or maybe doing some guest posts. Those are really simple ways of establishing EAT. So I think this is going to be something that is going to separate a lot of bloggers, because you'll get that 1% of people that will put the effort in and see the success, and then 99% of people will not want to go the extra mile, or a lot more people won't even know about it. They won't know that that's happening because they've simply not got their finger on the pulse. Another very important thing I think is going to be for 2020 is Google snippets. So optimizing your posts for the snippets, this is a big part of what we do in Project 24, and Jim and Ricky teach us about this a lot. But I've just read today that the Google snippets have changed. So before, when you got the Google snippet, so position 0, you could also rank at position 1, 2, 3, or wherever in the top 10. But that's changed now. Instead of being able to rank twice on the same page, if you win the snippet, you will be ranked top of page 2. So you will have position 0 on the first page and then position 1 on the second page. Now, this has been done apparently to kind of tidy up the SERP. But the question is, how is that going to affect us? Does that mean that we're going to get lower click-through rate because the snippet normally has the answer to the question that they're asking about? So perhaps it means that you're going to have to change your approach to snippets and maybe make them a little bit more enticing, have a bit more intrigue so people want to click onto your page. So that could be a bit of a challenge. And one of the biggest things that we're talking about at the moment in Project 24 is how transactional your posts are, how much of a commodity your blog is. So what we mean by that is, are people just going to come to your page and then never come back again? How can you build some sort of relationship with the user? How can you turn yourself into something that they actually know about and they want to come back and read more of your content, take one of your courses, buy one of your products, for example? So some of the ways to build a brand like this are simply to give them better information, maybe even create video content on the same ideas as your blogs, just to make you stand out a little bit more from the average blogger. But this is going to be something very important, especially if you want to monetize your blog more than just using ads. So when this story broke last week, when they launched the video and they said that they were selling all their sites, immediately there was a massive buzz in the community in Project 24, and there were a few sort of pessimistic people who were saying basically Project 24, it's going to go from blogging to YouTube. Now, this is true to a certain extent. Certainly when I started about 7 months ago, it was purely about blogging, and very quickly after that, Jim and Ricky released a complete course on how to create a YouTube channel. They're actually going to update that, and it's going to come out in February. Project 24 is getting a massive facelift, or is that the right word? Overhaul. Basically, it's going to get a lot better. So they're going to release Project 24 3.0, and it's going to be so much better and a lot more information. So is YouTube better than blogging? Well, that's a good question. I mean, to be honest, the main issue that people have with blogging is that if you're doing it organically and you're trying to build that organic traffic, it takes a long time. It can take 8 months to a year. That's a long time when you're working away every single day and not really seeing any success. I mean, most people give up after a couple of months. But you know, that ghost town phase, it exists with YouTube as well. You have to create a lot of content for YouTube, and it still takes you a long time to hit those 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers. You know, until you get to that point, you can't monetize with ads. Of course, before that period, you can definitely monetize your YouTube channel in different ways. But you know, it's a long ghost town phase, and I think, you know, blogging and YouTube, they're exactly the same in that respect. The only difference I would say with YouTube is that it's definitely got more of that treadmill kind of feel. It depends on your upload schedule, but on this YouTube channel, I only upload once a week. But even then, it's still, you know, it's in the back of your mind all week long. Okay, I need to create that video. I need to make sure it's out on time. With blogging, yes, it's good to produce as much content as you can, as quickly as you can, just so it can rank more quickly. But if you miss that publishing day, it's okay. You can kind of publish maybe a day or two later. Whereas I think with YouTube, it is quite important to publish on a regular schedule. And if you don't, you may be hit with the algorithm. So I do feel that YouTube is a lot more of a treadmill, and to a certain extent, it's not as passive as blogging. I mean, what do you think? Do you disagree with me? This is just my personal view from doing both things. I think YouTube is not as passive. But the major benefit of YouTube is it's a lot less competitive than blogging. If you put in most queries into Google, you're going to have very high authority websites that are going to rank at the top of the page, and it can be quite difficult to beat them. But if you go to YouTube, the same queries, you get like channels with, you know, no subscribers, or, you know, basically these tiny little YouTube channels that are ranking for these very competitive, well, on Google, these very competitive sort of queries. So I think in that respect that YouTube is really great right now, and now is the time to get into it, because it's only going to become more competitive over time. So if you are one of those people that are in the YMYL space, I would go to YouTube, because blogging is going to be a little bit more difficult for you. But in general, YouTube is a good supporting sort of platform to any blog. The biggest question I've been struggling with personally is all this effort that I'm putting in right now, is it actually going to pay off? And you know, everyone's always scared that they're going to miss the boat, and that by the time they learn about something, it's already sort of over, they've missed the hype. I don't think this is the case with blogging. There have definitely been some significant changes in blogging because of what Google are doing, and you definitely need to be aware of them. So I think the major shift is that blogging has to be done by a practitioner. So what I mean by that is, if you're writing in a niche, you need to be active in that niche. You need to be doing that hobby, or you need to be that professional if you're writing about a professional topic. If you're not, then I think you're not really going to have an advantage. And this might sound pretty bad, but actually I see this as a positive thing, because if you're the sort of person that will go that extra mile and actually do what you're writing about, you're just going to blow away the competition. And it's not that difficult to do. It just means, you know, picking up a spade if you're a gardener, or, you know, actually renting a dirt bike if you want to get into dirt biking and write about it. It's not that difficult, but a lot of people would just not do it. So what do you think? Do you think blogging is going to die in 2020? If you do, please write yes in the comments. If you don't, please write no. And if you have any questions, then I will get back to you. I'm really happy to share my journey and all the things that I'm learning in Project 24. So if you do have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And give me a like, because that's going to really help me out, and I do appreciate that. If you're interested in Project 24, then you can check the link in the description. Do remember that this is an affiliate link, so if you choose to buy your Project 24 membership through my link, I do get that commission, which I would really appreciate because it really helps me out. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next week.